Welcome, everyone. This is Pine Leaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Harry Adwin.
Hi.
Ariandis.
Hey, everybody.
Sanswinda.
Hello.
And please welcome our guest for tonight, Arid.
Hello.
Hello, Arid.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Have you been here before?
He was on during the 200th episode.
Ah, okay, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So many people there, I forget who's on when there.
Yeah. It was kind of crowded.
It was crowded, and did we have a chance to question you then, or did you have so many people then that we skipped that part?
That I don't remember. Did we grill you?
Skipped that part.
I think we skipped it.
Yeah, I was that lucky that we skipped it.
All right. Therefore, we get it this time then. Very
Congratulations.
Well. Yes.
You can't escape it, Aaron. You can't escape it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, just tell us how you got into Tolkien, how you got into LOTRO, and how you got into the LOTRO community.
I don't know, I think people will be angry with me when I say this, but I first found out about the movies, then the books, and then the game. I'm basically in the game for 6 years, most of it VIP. And that's pretty much it. I'm more focused on endgame stuff, and occasionally I go back to leveling through some of my let's call them favorites, favorite areas like Farokel, Moria, and Lorien, especially since that was the cut when I joined.
All right. And then let's head into our game news, and we'll begin with Borrower build number 5.
Yeah, I heard there's no more Emperor's New Armor.
Wait, what?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. The armor did. Yes, right. Because I did take a look at the armor last night, and it reminds me I have to make my video that's showing it all off, and have that posted tonight.
Is that the cosmetic armor that we get with the fan bundle, or is that the other gear armor?
The fan bundle I'm talking about.
Okay.
Well, and it says here many pieces of Mordor armor now have appearances, so it doesn't necessarily say all, but that sounds kind of hopeful. Though the Emperor's New Armor was a lot of fun too.
I'm
just glad it's not going live.
I see the Standing Stone is saying, yes, it doesn't feel like a town full of emperors running around in their skivvies.
Well, details.
Details.
At least the skivvies are appropriate to be seen in public and if necessary.
This is true.
Yeah.
I must have missed that in the patch notes. How did I miss that?
I know. I didn't think I saw that either, but it's there now.
Oh, because I read the patch notes yesterday when it was patching. I haven't read them since.
And I paid attention to it because Maven sent me a screenshot. Well, I think he sent us a screenshot of what it looks like now.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I didn't see it.
Maybe that's not what it was. But then I went and checked the notes, and it was there in the notes.
Yeah.
Maybe she sent you a screenshot and didn't send me one.
Well, that's always possible.
Yeah, when I looked at the patch notes. Yeah. Well, when I checked the patch notes last night, it was just the first 5 things. All the bullet points after that have come in since I looked at patch notes.
Yeah. Some of them were added last night, but I think looks like a few of them were added today. No, it looks like last added at 11:58, so I guess I was just too tired last night to notice that there are this many.
Oh, look, they're no longer dropping rusted dwarf tools either.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well, I was almost hopeful, though, that we were going to be able to trade those rusted dwarf tools in for something else now in the Mordor area. Man, I've got so many left over from Moria still.
And structures in older areas of the game are no longer invisible again. So,
Woohoo!
That particular one was probably in response to when I bugged certain skirmishes.
Which is good.
And I, of course, ran those skirmishes to make sure that those structures were visible.
Oh, there's campsites in Gorgoroth now.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's good to hear. I'm sure the
That'll be
hunters will
helpful.
be happy.
Yes, this hunter is happy.
Yeah.
As somebody who runs with a hunter, I'm very happy to hear that.
But recommendation: do not run Gondaman with the current build. The platform's now there, but when you're fighting that final assault, the mobs and Matthew keep on bugging out.
Ooh.
And Matthew, of course, bugs out during the boss fight. So, boy, it made the boss fight a lot easier that I don't have to worry about protecting him. But I think there is more of a headache than a help, because every single one of the waves of that assault had a couple of bugged out mobs. I think there might have been bugging out on my archer, because that's where I got some of them to stop bugging out, was to dismiss my archer.
Okay.
In the quest and adventure areas, it says various floating stumps in the Pelennor fields have been reintroduced to the ground. And then, continuing with the floating theme, they fixed a floating chest in East Rohan. It's like, why do I always hear about this stuff after the fact? Why can't I find this stuff in game? This sounds great.
It does sound pretty great.
Yeah, so you do have these little things happening on occasion. Hopefully they fixed all the rest of the glitches that still exist by next week, because it's 9 days till launch if they deem it reasonable.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, it's 8.
Other music tracks have been added and updated throughout Gorgoroth.
Yeah, that's the thing that that must mean the Chance Thomas music. Which means
well, that's worth logging in for.
Yeah, I have to.
I'm glad I patched this.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that reminds me that today or last night, one of the things I did do was to take my 6th level character and go through the door to Mordor.
So basically, you can take a character right out of the intro through the Mordor door. Good to know.
That's what it means.
Please let that still be so when it goes live. Please, Dev.
If you go through a door that looks like that, you deserve exactly what happens to you.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Because it is not a friendly-looking door.
No.
It's not.
And if all my alts are going to have one anyway, they ought to be able to use it.
Ooh, okay. It sounds like somebody else here went for the 130 deal.
Well, I still have to wait for my next paycheck, but...
Details.
Minor details.
That's okay. You can use my doors.
Sweet.
Very well. Let's head into the LOTRO beacon. And the top story on the beacon is...
Weatherstock, isn't it?
Yeah, there's this big thing on Weatherstock, and...
Like, the full schedule was posted in the beacon, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, boy, and I went through a lot of trouble trying to find, okay, where's that schedule? Where's that schedule? Finding the weather. Look at that. Look at this beacon. Where
it's all right there.
It's all right there, right in the beacon.
Now, Pineleaf, you'll be happy to know I did not run through the shades at Weatherstock.
Okay, good. Perfect. I'm glad you didn't interrupt us. And you know what was my interesting thing I noticed on Weatherstock? is I think this year, despite the fact they had a really, really ambitious, I was wondering how in the world were they not going to go 10 hours with all these bands here, and they actually ran closer to on schedule than any weather stock I remember.
Really?
That's impressive.
The last band ended by my calculations 5 minutes late. 5 minutes late for an over 4 hour concert. 4.5 hour concert.
That's cool.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and
good job, guys.
I think the voting might have gone a little bit over and I left before the voting closed out. A few hanging chads, I think, or something like that. But the performance itself stayed on time all the way through, and so therefore I have to thank the stage manager for actually keeping everybody on time this year. And apparently Chance Thomas discusses making music for Mordor in a pair of recent interviews for NPR. And LOTRO Academy wrapped up the discussion of Epic Book 1. How about that?
Yeah.
Hooray!
So therefore, here's the weekly comment. If a movie were made of your main character's life, what would the film be called?
That's a question.
Hughes must die, obviously.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Chasing Moomox.
Chasing
Oh, that's
Moomox.
perfect. That is perfect.
That sounds like
I thought
a
it would
great
be
one.
Oliphants and Pie.
Okay, it could be Oliphants and Pie.
That's what's it called? Like the subtitle, or no, not the subtitle.
Or like, can I shoot
what's
it?
it called? I can't remember. Anyway,
subtitle
All right.
works.
Yeah.
the secondary title. I don't know.
Yeah. Subtitle, I think, is what they will call that.
Okay.
And mine, I guess, I would call Fear and Skirmish.
That is also perfect.
So, what's yours?
Oh, mine? Oh gosh. Something like Forever a Noob or something like that. I don't know.
Aaron?
Do I have to?
Yes.
Yeah, mine would probably be something like, oh, is that a Hobbit?
All right. And of course, you got to remember is that last week, we never forget. What's his name? And let's see, anything. Our screenshot of the week shows, I would presume that is a lore master standing next to the Palantir that's in the Heathfields back when you're doing one of the anniversary runs.
That's a really good shot.
By the way, since you mentioned what's his name? I actually made that screenshot last week.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I thought I recognized the name on that screenshot.
And then we have anything else that someone wants to mention in here before we go into our store sales?
Nope, I don't think so.
Then let's see what's on sale this week. Anything nice and interesting?
Well, the free sample this week is a +5 Hope boost for 90 minutes times 1. Coupon code is MOREHOPE, MORHOPE. And 20% off Milestone Skills, Hurried Traveler and Returning Traveler, Advanced Riding Traits, and Rally Horns. And the riding traits is really nice because Journeyman Riding is 78% horse speed for all of your mounts all of the time ever on every alt.
And you get to ride as soon as you're out of the intro on every alt.
That too.
Yeah.
All
At
you have to do is,
78% speed.
as soon as you click those skills.
Well, yeah, you have to open the box and click the skills,
For
but
those of us that have like 60 some alts, it's super handy.
very, very nice.
Yeah.
I need to pick that up. Gosh.
Oh, yeah. It's
I'm like living in the dark ages over here.
I know before that, I would always wait till I hit level 20 before. Actually, I did have the slow horse that tided me over until I hit level 20.
I was always trying to hit level 20 in 24 hours with the horse whistle.
Oh, what I did
it's
is
much nicer to have riding skill right away.
Yeah, usually what I did was I would use the slow horse until I hit level 16 and then do 16 to 20 in 24 hours. But yes,
yeah, that's not bad.
Same idea of it is to get the use of that horse whistle.
So now I have extra horse whistles on all my alts. Not that that's a bad thing.
Well, I guess I've been known to toss those horse whistles lately. Because what can you do? They're bound to what, character, I thought?
Yeah.
You can use them when leveling with a friend who doesn't have journeyman riding yet. I did discover that use for them this week.
Oh, I thought you would just use Smell the Roses.
Well, I hadn't opened my journeyman riding box yet, so I opened the horse whistle first.
Ah, okay. So you'd be on an even foot.
Right. Otherwise, Smell the Roses works.
Very well, then let's head into our site news. And the first item are the community events, which, of course, the highlight of that is, I'm sure you could guess what the highlight to that was.
More weather stock.
And more weather stock where they show off the security team. Because without the security team, it would be very hard to hold weather stock because we have those crows that are just nasty sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look kind of cute and harmless until you get close to them under level.
Yes. Yeah. And then, of course, they also talk about the official stream, which is how I watched Weatherstock this year. I decided not to go to the hill itself simply because I think the last 2 years my computer just couldn't handle it.
It was just so good. Your computer's just like, I can't.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet at one point that said they had like over 600 in attendance.
Nice.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah, a couple of times they turned on the names briefly during the intermissions, during the switches between bands. And yeah, a lot of names all over the place.
Oh, I bet.
Then after that, I have a feeling that even though there are a few other things going on here, it's mainly resting from Weatherstock, I think. Because I know there are 19 bands that certainly need a rest after today.
No kidding.
Even just waiting to be your turn and making sure that nothing goes wrong and all that fun stuff, the nervousness of it, waiting for the voting to be done and the nervousness that goes with that. Yeah, it can take a bit out of you. So let's then head on to LOTRO Academy, and we discussed this briefly during the weekend, where we had LOTRO Academy 143, Volume 1, Review Part 3, where apparently we have this hobbit that just doesn't know what's going on.
I was about to say, I love that screenshot. That's great.
Well, because we mentioned in the review, there's that awkward instance where it's basically the elves scolding Laerden, and you just always feel like you're It's very similar to that awkward moment, like if you have a friend who's got children and you're visiting and the child does something that they have to be scolded for, and you happen to be sitting there while the child is being scolded, and it's like, super awkward. That's what that feeling is like when you go through that epic instance.
Pretty much.
Because the elves are scolding Laredin for something that they really shouldn't have waited this long to figure out had even happened. And, even as an elf character, it's like, I really don't want to be here through this. Why did I have to come for this?
Yeah.
You feel like you should be sitting in a corner somewhere.
Though trying to get a picture of you sitting in a corner somewhere there does not turn out so well.
Because they don't have a lot of corners.
Well, no, and then you've got to try to figure out how to get the camera around and still be able to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is tricky. Then we have Erebor and More, the new Mordor Allegiance system preview. And that is ending, going through the Allegiance system with each of the factions and giving it a full discussion. And I have to admit that I intentionally avoided watching these videos because I didn't want to have any significant... For me, I'm not exactly happy that he just told us that you're going under the Lonely Mountain. And he does that in the title.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I gotta say, Erebor looks pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it looks like they have cleaned it up quite a bit since that incident with
they've had
the
time.
dragon. Yes. Yeah, they've had some time, yes. So they used that time well, it looks like.
I mean, we saw in Moria how fast the dwarves can move when they're well motivated.
Keywords. Well, highly motivated.
Highly motivated, yes. You are true with that.
Hey, they were doing a lot better job than the people of Archit who've been rebuilding for who knows how long.
Maybe the dwarves need to write a book on motivation or do a motivational seminar,
How to repair after a disaster.
Well, maybe that's what Otley Spiderbane has been trying to do all this time, trying to motivate the people in Archit to actually...
There you go. See? It works.
Let's try it.
It's not working for him.
Yeah, he hasn't been very successful so far, apparently.
Instead, he helps motivate players to try to help and
try to kill spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually today in Archit and I saw Atlee Spiderbane. He's still sitting at that fountain and he has his head down in his chest, and I think he just sees that he also failed. He's got to the conclusion that these people are hopeless.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I keep fetching that one guy's construction equipment for him, his toolbox, and it doesn't seem to make any difference because he keeps losing it again.
All right, and next we have a story on the release date and pre-order related to Mordor, and I get the impression that, Arid, you're not too happy about it.
No, actually, I am happy that we are finally in Mordor, and I do love this game and all that. I've been not only a fan, I've been addicted to the game for a while. But I'm not really too happy with some of the stuff that has been going on lately. Should I elaborate more, or do we want to go on?
I think we'll go on.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Did you just have something to say?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying it's right as of right now. It's got 46 comments, so it's gotten a lot of discussion from the community, which is good. So it's definitely worth a read.
Yeah, it has a lot of comments, and people did share it, and 2 forum posters have also opened a thread about it, shared it on the LOTRO feedback subforum, and it was on Reddit, I believe, and I don't know how many more social sites. So people do tend to agree to one level or another. Maybe they don't agree with everything, but there are there probably is something there that people will find maybe useful, maybe just I don't know.
All right. Then let's go on to your comments on the crafting developer's diary.
Yeah, like I said, I'm in the game for 6+ years, and I'm used to developer diaries being a little bit longer than the ones they have gotten out right now. And they do call it, to be fair, an interview, not a diary. So I took the liberty and made a little bit, well, I don't know, a funny spin-off to a diary where I talk in a tone of a developer myself. And I have put there all the information I had at that time about crafting, because Woolroar was down and I didn't have any screenshots of recipes and stuff like that, but I believe I've covered a lot about crafting.
Yeah. All right. Good. So you tried to fill in the gaps then?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And it looks like you did a similar article related to the allegiance system to that little dev diary or interview. Actually, you did this one as an interview.
It looks like it was. They
didn't play so much with it. That's basically their interview. I did add some of my own stuff, and
okay.
I did add some comments I found on the forums from various developers. You can recognize Made of Lions. That's Voltron, basically. If you remember the anniversary story, how he got his nickname.
Okay.
So that's those are his comments on the forum.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. And then we have several paragraphs of silence.
Oh.
Yeah, I put them all together because it'd be easier to just talk about all at once.
Maybe we skip that.
Okay. All right, very well. Then we'll go from Arid's articles to Squirrel's articles, where he had a triumvirate on What's Behind Mordor, Part 6. And basically he's saying, what do you need to do? One was to get rid of your old stuff. In other words, clean out your quest log and stuff like that.
He mentioned cleaning out the D log too, which isn't really necessary because it's not like there's space in the D log that's limited.
Yeah. But I have actually been cleaning up my D log just so that I just didn't have all of those things. Is I like finally get those off my shoulder, for example, and I do believe that one time, several years back, they were saying that a lot of deeds do have a little bit of a hit on performance because the system has to keep on checking for them and the like. And in fact, one of the reasons why they give you extra quest slots for completing deeds was to encourage people to finish up their deeds. Even though, of course, now I'm way beyond being able to get more of those quest slots from it. But I've been cleaning out my deed log. I have a completely clean quest log on my main character. I've been cleaning up inventory space.
Man, I wonder what that's like.
What? Oh, a clean quest log?
And clean inventory.
When I say clean inventory, I meant relative. I have to admit, I think I've instead of having 2/3 full, it's 2/3 empty now.
Like I said, I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, I just don't feel like having to go back to camp or throw away stuff every 10 minutes. Okay, I know that's an exaggeration since you've got those extra 50 slots.
It's not always an exaggeration.
Yeah, true.
That's why I mail stuff to alts.
Yeah. So then after that, he says, prepare for the new, meaning make sure you have the gear you need or something like that. Oh, that's whatever. Have good enough gear to go into Morio. What you call good enough gear to go into Morio, of course, everybody has an
opinions may vary.
Yeah. But right now, I am using level 105 gear right now, but it's Quest or Matham gear is what I'm using right now. And in fact, what I have is pretty much I'm going to be wearing when I hit 106, I'll be opening up 6 Matham boxes that I've been saving up for the last couple of months.
I don't know. The Matham gear isn't all that great.
No, it's not all that great, but it's better than 105 gear.
The stats I saw, it was a couple builds back on Bullroar, I think, but the stats I saw of somebody who opened up a set of 106 Matham armor didn't look too bad.
It's an improvement over the 105 stuff, but it is nowhere near as good as the landscape armor you are going to get. So if I get a lot of 106 drops early on, then yeah, that's what I'll wear. But Matham armor is my backup plan.
It might hold you over at least till you get more drops.
Yeah. And I did find out today because I was doing testing on a couple of skirmishes in there. And I found out that it's red line. Going into red line helps me a lot because lately, because of how easy skirmishes have been over at the 105 level, it was actually, I had no reason ever to go into red line. I was just staying in blue line for survivability. And okay, I did enough damage in order to get through at a reasonable rate. But now, with the way it is now, I was wondering, why does this take me so long? That I decided, well, maybe it's because I've been in blue line all this time. So yeah, red line makes the skirmishes go a lot more smoothly when you're soloing them. So now I know what line to be in and all that other stuff that, yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit ready. As for virtues, yeah, I'm already at 20 in all my virtues. Well, they'll be 20 as soon as Mordor goes live, at least. Of course, none of my other characters are anywhere near ready. All right, anybody else doing anything prepare?
I got through new content in the wastes.
Yeah, okay, that's good. And in fact, maybe you'll be finished with the waste before Mordor starts?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay.
Maybe.
I really have no idea how close we are.
It could happen.
It could, yeah, we might. I don't know.
It could happen.
Okay.
Actually, going back to the store discount, you could say that this is also a good preparation. You could buy the skills Hurried Traveler and what's the other one called? I don't know.
Oh, Hurried and Returning Traveler. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, because you'll have to travel a lot because Gandalf sends you a lot. I don't know, in the Black Book, and he's
is
always
Gandalf Elrond. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, yeah. See, he's standing in for Elrond as Elrond is traveling from Rivendell.
Right.
Wait, he leaves his library.
Well, yeah,
That's the thing
his daughter's getting married, right?
I'm just saying. I mean, depending on, they could have a wedding in the library. I mean, I'm just saying. Depends on how bad Elrond wants to leave.
Well, I think his.
No, I know.
I don't want to spoil the chapters in the Allegiance quests, but some of those require a lot of traveling, and if you don't have the hurry traveler, you will be doing those for 2 hours probably if they don't change something.
Okay, well,
So,
yeah.
Maybe there'll be hunter ports.
Or make
And it
friends
sounds like
with a
there's
hunter.
going to be campfires. That'll help.
Oh, the campfires will help the hunters, that's for sure.
And people
wonder
traveling with hunters.
Yeah. I just have to find out how. Let's see what kind of rep I'll need in order to get the Warden port.
Oh, yeah. It'll probably be rep-based.
I don't
Though it might
remember
be
if it is.
quest-based. There's some ports you could get quest-based.
Yeah,
It's just been a long time since there have been any.
Part of my prep for Mordor is going to be deciding what server to roll a new burglar on to Arya up to 105.
Yeah, that's the. It's going to be a Berg that you're going to Aria?
Yeah, I'm going to Arya a Berg, because I've leveled a Berg to 75, so it's far enough, but I don't want to level that character all the way up to 105, because there's reason she's still at 75. So I'm thinking I'll roll a new Berg on Landy. I just haven't figured out what I'm going to make said new Berg on Landy.
All right. And in his third part, he talks about getting to 115 as quickly as possible. For bragging rights, I assume?
I guess. I've never been concerned with getting to like the top level as fast as possible. I mean, you get there when you get there. You don't have to get there on launch day. You're supposed to read this whole reading of the quest text thing.
Yeah. Read the quest text. That's the. I know because I've presumed that it'll take me a little while in order to get up.
That's also another thing. You can make a difference if you are leveling through questing, which will take you a while. If you hurry up, it will take you maybe a day. I don't know. But there will be always someone who will actually power level in some instance, and it'll be done in maybe 2 hours. Who knows?
Yeah. Again, for bragging rights.
Yeah.
For bragging rights. So they're saying, why isn't there anyone here to quest with me?
No, they'll complain about how long it took them to get to that 115 level.
It took me a full 3 hours?
Yeah.
Well, hey, to each their own,
Yep, I suppose that's true. And then we have a really gross article because it's Family Line Part 144, The Road East. So he continues his journey homeward. And then we also have a Critters. Because after looking at the Mordor, Squirrel now went into Critters, and apparently the Critters are getting ready for Mordor also.
Yep, everybody's excited for Mordor now.
Yeah, the hype is starting. And while everybody is getting all hyped up for Mordor, I am going back to the Old Forest.
Because why not,
Actually, this was part of an introduction that I did, and we're anticipating a trip to the Old Forest, so therefore I decided to talk about the Old Forest.
Nice.
Oh, was this the poem that you read Tuesday?
Yeah. Deep in the dark and dangerous wood, a hatred hampered for hobbits on a quest. Their path did twist to push them south to the withy window, where Willow slept. By the foulest tree Frodo was snared, as his friends were trapped in a frightful grip. As Frodo's hope faded, he fervently called, till Tom answered, as the tamer of the wood. And that was with the Ode of Forest. And then we have a new player question. And Ariandis?
Yes. Well, this past week, I was able to go on Bull Roar for the very first time, and it was a lot of fun. And I just wanted to ask, how do you transfer or copy characters over to Bull Roar instead of making a new one?
You do that through the live version of the launcher. You click the transfer button, and you select which characters from which server you're going to transfer. And you can also tick your shared storage box, which will copy that over as well. And then in the option where it's asking you what server to select, you can click Bull Roar for free, and it'll just copy over. Takes a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Is it like a... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just click the all button and just take everything from one server and send it over.
Now, is that like a second copy? So you're goodness, I can't talk.
Yeah.
So it's like all of your stuff is still on the. Say you transfer from Landrival to Bull Roar. Do you still have your stuff on Landrival and now it's on Bull Roar as well? Okay. Yeah. So it's not just like an actual. Okay.
Yeah, it just copies everything over.
Okay.
If you do that to another live server,
right,
then you end up transferring stuff. So you got to be really, really careful to
make
which
sure
destination you're picking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And besides, if you go to any other server, it'll charge you. So you better be careful.
Yeah.
Right.
There is that too.
Then let's head into our week in LOTRO. And Ariandis, what have you been up to? So I heard a rumor that you went to Bull Roar.
Oh, I don't know where you would have heard that, finally. Well, yes, I went to Bull Roar for the first time this week, and it was a lot of fun. I decided to try out the High Elf. I made a champion, and it was a lot of fun. When I got in there, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll try to get to, the new Mordor content, kind of check it out. And then I was like, wait a second. If I'm at level 115 and I, whooshed my way up there, which was a whole nother experience in itself. But anyway, I realized, I was like, wait a second. I'm at 115. I can go places that my main, who is level 50, I think 52 or 53 maybe, can't get to. And so I was like, oh gosh. So here comes the grand tour of Middle-earth, Bull Roar style. So I went everywhere. I went to Minas Tirith, ran up through every single level, got hopelessly lost a couple times. I jumped off the prow twice, once mounted, once not mounted, died both times, once in midair. I apparently bounced off one of the statues. And I'm literally like kneeling, like the death scene in midair. I'm not touching anything. I was just, I guess I died of shock or something. Or something. I ran around the Cape of Belfalis housing area. I tried swimming out to the boat, but you can't get to it. And I was very sad. And then I went into Rohan, kind of ran around in there a little bit. I tried to enter Metaceld, but it was not open. I think it was, isn't it epic locked?
Yeah.
Or something, so I couldn't get in. So, which I was sad. But hey, I made it to the outside, which was a lot of fun. And I tried the emote Dance 3 on the High Elf, and it's basically your High Elf is doing Russian ballet, and it's amazing. I think Terry and Sinswinda and the girls from the girls group did like synchronized Dance 3 emotion dancing on a stream one time, and I thought it was hilarious, so I decided to try it. And it was kind of funny. I set the emote, got my character dancing, and then I got interrupted and I had to do something, and I came back, and in game it had switched from nighttime to dawn. So I literally, my high elf literally danced until the break of dawn.
That's awesome.
So I was impressed. So
you're on board for the Russian ballet.
Oh yes, I am totally on board. Sign me up. So anyway, that was my week. Arid, what did you do this week?
Well, I spent my week in Bull Roar mainly. I mean, who knew? I kept checking for some time for the Gimli's instance, and finally found it that it's finished. And I finally got to visit the Abyss of Mordor and stuff like that, but I won't go too much into spoilers. Having said that, I'll probably jump into my own words, and I'll say that I met a remnant of a certain very bad guy. I'm not naming him. He was a little bit bugged, having his arms in a form of T.
The T stance. Yeah.
And all I could think of was, I believe I can fly and my heart will go on.
That's great.
And I leveled my crafting out through 4 because I don't have much anything else to do. Maybe clean up some deeds, but that's all. And I got reminded how 4 has some pretty neat monsters, because I came across a wight that when you fight it for a few seconds, it summons an ice armor around itself, and the other one was Gaurodan, those wolfmen.
Mm-hmm.
When they spawn, once you kill it, when they spawn again, the wolf doesn't spawn with those Gaurodan, because they have an ally wolf. But when they spawn, they actually summon it. They have a pretty nice animation for that. And I came across that bug when you're too long in Forokel or Misty Mountains or something like that. That fog stays with you, so you can go to Evenbeam and you're like, has it been snowing here? What's going on?
You get really creepy nighttime shots of Bree that way.
So that was my week in LOTRO. Sansvinda, what about you?
Well, I decided to see how fast I could level with my sister, who wanted to level quickly, and decided that I would try with a captain. And she was on a guardian. And I decided that's not exactly the easiest way to speed level, but we made it to level 39. And it's been fun. I mean, once I figured out how to get my herald or archer to do something, it got a lot better. But since I usually play a class that has no pet, I had moved the pet panel way out of the way trying to find something else. And, hadn't realized that I should be paying attention to that. So that was kind of funny. And I think I'm about to get my horn to be able to summon, so that should be fun.
Hey.
Yeah, but my guardian companion has been traveling by post, which has been fun. It's always great to open your mailbox and pull out a hobbit, you know? And
it does actually. It did remind me how very often back in Europe, because the post office needed such characters, those became the common characters that people would often rent. Would be the same ones that were taking the post, so they called it traveling by post.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That's great.
Yeah. And then on the field trip, I got lost in Mirkwood looking for the remembrances under the evil fortress. And because I was actually on level, I was trying to avoid all the things that wanted to shoot me and chase me and kill me. And, yes, in case you are wondering, it is definitely possible to fall to your death in Mirkwood. And if you do so near the point where you are supposed to be to find that instance of remembrances, the, red circle is not conveniently located.
Oh no.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And I also got to go questing in Thomas Edris on an elf for the first time. And it was humorous. And, yeah. All the poor little hamsters running around trying to convince you that their history is super, super more important than yours.
That dialogue is hilarious. I'm sorry, it just is.
It's pretty funny. I think Elladan had a pretty good summary of their history, and Arir's just like, they're so short-lived. What history?
He's like, history? What history? They've been around for like 5 minutes.
It was kind of funny. And I discovered I have no sympathy for the guy who accidentally poisons himself anymore.
Nope.
On my first character I did, but this time I was like, yeah. Terry, how was your week?
Well, today I discovered that Langevall Terry had high enough rep to be able to get her returned to Herondir. Yay!
Hey.
Yeah, I can alternate between that and the milestone when I don't have Hunter Forts to fall back on. And then last night I led the field trip through Thader on the level 20-somethings. Watched everybody else level up. Because I'm pretty sure everybody else in that group level except for my character.
No, mine didn't either. I don't think.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
She noticed.
I'm paying attention to everybody else's trees coming up around me. That actually was a lot of fun, though, because Pineleaf was on a burglar, and I was on a lore master.
What?
Yeah, Pine was on Pine Sap, and I was on my lore master. So we had two characters that were capable of, like, stunning and dazing and mezzing things. So I started calling targets, like Pineleaf would riddle one, and my lore master would stun another one, and we'd take on the third one, and then by the time the third one was down, we were able to take on the other two in succession, and it went a lot easier once we started doing that. Because, I mean, it wasn't a super OP group, because level 20-something, but our tank was a warden who had not the first clue how to tank, and we had a couple of backup healers in the cappies.
And then the healer was a runekeeper.
The actual healer was a runekeeper who also didn't know what she was doing.
Oh gosh!
And I know this.
Yeah, and I was on a yellow spec lore master, so I'm doing like all these buffs and things, and I'm just kind of reading tooltips. Oh, that looks good. Let's hit that button.
Push all of the buttons.
Push all of the buttons. Lore master is totally different for me in playstyle because it's less mash all of the keys and more just click all of the things. I do more mouse clicking on the lore master for some reason. And then my warden on Langevall I've been playing quite a bit. She's progressed a little further in volume 1. She's still not done. But she did do the one quest required to get you to unlock the travel to the other side of the Ice Bay in Forakel, which speeds up that bit of the epic a lot if you get that unlocked, because you have basically swift travel to that side. And then if you're a hunter or warden, you can port yourself back to the other side. So you're only paying for travel one way.
And it's much better travel option than trying to swim it.
Yeah, because trying to swim is going to get you killed.
Yeah.
And then I was in the last bit is you talk to, spoilers, you talk to Arvidwee's ghost, and for some reason I always expect him to send you back to Surrey Kyla so you can go back and take a port to wherever. But no, he sends you directly to Rivendell. So, because I'm on a warden, I was like, all right, I'll just use that muster skill right there and just whoosh to Rivendell instead of having to go around. So, that bit of the epic goes so much more smoothly when you're on a character who can whoosh places.
Yes, oh boy, it is. There's a reason why most of my run-throughs of the epic storyline have been with wardens.
So, Pineleaf, how was your week?
All right, the first item overlaps with you because I thought that of all the Thadir runs I've ever done, this has got to be the smoothest one I've ever seen. And I'll tell you right now, it wasn't my doing. Okay, I did help a little with the riddle. Okay, I helped with the riddle. I helped the riddle, but Terry Adwin helped to keep this all organized, and the whole thing went like clockwork. And
I was actually amazed because it's so rare to get a group that actually follows direction. I guess it's because I've been running with the field trip group often enough now that they're all kind of preconditioned to take direction. So I can say, okay, we're going to do this, 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 and this, and that's exactly what happens, and it's kind of awesome.
And then on my skirmish group, when we're running a Tier 3 small fellowship run of the Battle in the Tower, we were coming down to the start of the skirmish where you have the audience chamber on the left and the entry hall on the right. So we go into or actually the other way around. But you come into the area and you pass by the closed audience chamber as you go into the entry chamber.
Right.
Apparently there was this forest-born reaver that was right next to the portcullis, and he saw us as we were passing by. And therefore, we were locked in combat with the forest-born reaver while we were fighting in the other room. We get rid of the other room. Now, of course, we're saying, okay, how do we take the flag now that we're in combat with someone who we can't fight until we take the flag?
Oh, no.
Now, it turned out that the hunter was pretty sure that he was the one that the Forestborn Reaver was on. So the hunter did a DF to the beginning of the skirmish, which is Desperate Flight. Desperate Flighted, went to the beginning of the skirmish, and then came back. He was out. He was no longer in combat, so he took the flag, and we were able to complete the run.
Nice.
But yes, we had an overly alert Forestborn Reaver there.
Now,
it's not in the script, buddy.
Worked as well?
Hmm?
Would flopping have worked as well to get out of combat?
Yes, but he was a hunter, so I don't think hunters can flop.
Hobbit hunters can.
Yeah, but he wasn't a hobbit.
Well, that doesn't matter. I was just asking if that also works. For
example, if I was the one, since I was on a hobbit at the time, then I could have flopped if it was me, yeah.
Okay. Just curious, sorry.
Or at least I'm guessing it would. I did not try that out in that situation. Then the real highlight, though, of the week was that during the Exploring Middle-earth that Corey Olsen did on this last Tuesday, it was on Arkenstone. It was being hosted by the Academy Kinship. So I did the introduction there. And this was a case where Maven wasn't available. So Maven was out of town, and she was there. And it turns out that, I don't know, if there was another moderator to that particular Discord server, that person was also away, because there were no moderators online. Apparently, they don't give Corey moderator privileges. Or if they did, they didn't bother telling Corey.
Whoops.
So therefore, he had no way of giving me the ability to talk in the channel where we were at.
Okay.
So then Corey thought, well, maybe what we could do is to go over to the streaming channel and have me give the introduction there. No, he couldn't bring me to the streaming channel because he didn't have the moderator privilege.
Oh, no.
So his eventual decision was for us to turn on game sound, since he was piping his game sounds through through the system. And so we turned on game sound, and therefore I was presenting the poem through the game sound, which then was being piped through the Discord place and then out into the stream.
Well, that explains why it sounded so weird.
Yeah, that's why it sounded so weird. The other reason why it sounded so weird was because in him deciding to do that, there was absolutely no rehearsal to test how well the system worked.
Oh boy.
And that meant that 3 seconds after I said anything, I would hear it.
Oh.
Because I was hearing it as everybody in the chat was hearing it.
Oh no.
And reciting poetry when you're hearing yourself off by 3 seconds is not an easy task.
Oh gosh.
So therefore, next time I ever do anything like this, obviously I am going to mute, or not mute, but to turn off the headset going from Discord while I'm doing the introduction.
Oh gosh.
because it took me a while to figure out what was going on and what I needed to do in order to stop it. And if I broke concentration in order to try to fix it by the time I did that, I think things would have been even worse off. But okay, that gave a whole new challenge to that. But you're right. It probably sounds strange because it was going through the game sound.
It did. It sounded really strange. I was like, what is going on with Pine Leaf's audio?
That's because it was going through the game sound and the game chat. The game voice system isn't exactly the best in well, first of all, it's 10 years old, and B, well, written by someone who's born to making games then into making high-end chat systems.
Yeah.
But yes, if you want to hear the difference of the game sound system versus Discord, I suppose you could watch the latest video from the Exploring Middle-earth, and you could see, whenever you hear me, the change in the quality.
Well, and hey, now we know, you know.
And now let's go into news beyond LOTRO. Middle-earth, Shadow of War, G-Lob.
So this is Sanswinda's favorite video ever. She watches it on it's on a loop. We can't get her to stop watching it.
Yes. So you have an opportunity then to see the version of Shelob that's in the Shadow of War. I don't know. Do we see Shelob in Mordor, or is that coming with the raids, I wonder?
I hope not.
I don't think we've seen her yet. We've seen some smaller spiders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Girls ran into a whole pack of them the last time we did Girls, and Sans loved it.
I might have almost kited back into another group if somebody hadn't told me not to.
Oh no!
Fortunately, I had a champion looking out for me.
Okay. Oh, that's good, because I'm sure you would not have liked it if you ran into that other pack.
Well, that's what happens when she plays with her eyes closed.
Well, you know. They did a good job with the graphics.
Well, that's good to hear.
I just need to be able to play blind. That's all.
Yes. And anyway, if you want to see what Shadow War's version is like, then you have this preview video of what that is like. We currently have 22 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of LOTRO Players News. We do have a featured comment this week on last week's episode, and Sans, what did Mary Rose say?
Mary Rose Morning Song writes, I laughed hard through last week's episode, but this episode had me smiling and periodically gasping for breath from laughing so hard. The offhand comments were side-splitting, and the vision I have in my head of the field trip to Mordor keeps me in stitches. I've listened to the podcast twice already and probably will listen to it again. Thanks. Smiley face. And you're most welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you. Now, you can also contact us by emailing us. You can send us an email at podcast@lotroplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotro Players @LotroPlayers, Ariandis @Ariandis, Maven @Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, Sunswinda @Sunswinda, and Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. And you can follow our guest where?
You can follow me on Davor. That's my actually real name. Davor is my real name, not all of it. But at DAVORD and the same again.
All right. And is there anything else you wish to add before we close?
I don't think so. I think we've covered it all.
Very well. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows each week, every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News on the first and third Fridays at 11:59 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have XP Quest on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have LOTRO Academy After School, which is coming up this week. And every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight, and this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.